So you found the skeleton. How would you tell it's a dinosaur? You personally, how would you decide?
Well, interesting question. I don't know. I'd have to do some research on this.
Hey everybody, welcome to Dapper Reacts 138. Oops, all tangents? And the question mark on the tangents is part of the important thing, because the tangents are part of the super chat goal. The super chat goal right now is Kip is unleashed, which means he can curse as much as he likes, and so can Vishanti, even if I often miss her cursing. But I will stop even caring that I miss her cursing. But also, I will stop even attempting to advance the video that we are quote-unquote responding to. This is in part because last time it was almost all tangents, and I figured maybe this time, if you guys, want, we'll do all tangents. Now, there's a couple other things. One is, I have recently come into a few, and by a few I think I mean like 8 Steam keys for games either that I don't think I'll play in enough time to make it worth, taking the Steam key myself, or that I already have. And that is a result of a number of things, including me buying a Humble Bundle, which included a few games I already had, but also still being cheaper than buying the games I didn't have separately. So if we get to the 15 super chats, so that's halfway to the super chat goal, I will tell you what game I'm dropping a Steam code for, and I will just drop it into the chat, and whoever redeems it first has the game. So, I don't know, you might want to pull up your Steam client, just in case. Because,
I don't...
Yeah. Sorry, Kip?
I don't have a Steam client.
Well, why not?
What is Steam?
Steam is a PC game platform where you can buy and play games for the PC. It's like, how you play computer games. So, like, if you wanted to play a computer game with me,
right,
you would probably get it on Steam, and then we would play together.
Okay.
So, like, if you got Factorio, we could build a factory together on Steam.
Oh, okay. I don't play games.
You could you could though. You could just do it.
I guess I could. That's true. I technically could do that.
All right. Well, we know one person who isn't going to be redeeming any of the Steam keys, and that's Kip.
Not me.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it is going to be first come, first serve. You do not have to. While it is triggered by the super chat goal, you don't have to contribute to the super chat goal to get it. It is literally anyone who can put it into their Steam account first. You just get it. So that is how I am making sure that I am not running afoul of gambling laws.
Vish, do you play games?
Should I attempt to answer that before you figure out that you have something else to do, or that you had a thought that's going to take 5 minutes to complete?
Me?
Burn.
I'm confused.
Probably. Yes, I'm always confused. I mean, this is just part of the show, isn't it? At this point,
well,
I'm starting to get it. Most of the reason I'm here is just so that you guys can make fun of me.
That's not true.
That's not true.
However, sometimes
it never feels like.
Sometimes, despite having received a message almost an hour ago to make sure that you have coffee ready before you think you need it ready.
Dude, it
was... Hold on, I'm not done.
Listen,
I'm not done.
No.
I'm not
Okay.
done. Not
Fine.
only do you not do that, but when Vishanti is trying to explain something to you, you then get up to go make the coffee that you were supposed to make earlier anyway.
Yep.
Sometimes that happens.
Yep.
I'm a terrible person.
Wouldn't go that far.
And there's reasons, like, I can explain this, but
there's reasons for almost everything.
There's reasons for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. No one said you didn't have a reason.
I think so. I don't scream. Should have put bourbon in this coffee.
Why did the fact that you two show up without booze frequently baffles me. I don't get it.
I just don't drink very often.
I'm contrary to popular belief, I also do not drink very often, and there are only two. Well, I guess sometimes three. The only places I do drink when I stream are on Budget Scripture Saturday, which is tonight at 7 or 8, I don't know. And then my Scotch stream with Dr. Joel Carrico, which is happening next Saturday evening. And I mean, I drink. I've been on the times that I've been on Bad Science Sundays. I drink, but honestly, that's it. That's the only places. So I never drink on your show. I mean, it's in the middle of the afternoon. Well, I shouldn't say never, but it's in the middle of the afternoon.
I was gonna say you definitely had drinks on the show.
That's true.
We gave you a
I did
sobriety test and you
yes,
failed it.
It's
Yeah.
true. But I was yes. There was I was having a time.
Yeah.
I was not in my normal.
That's all right. That's all right. So here's what we're gonna do. We have Ben Biogeography. I choose you. Dick Tunicate says answers in Genesis are a bag of dicks, but says it backwards, and then also sent 10 Dapper Dinosaur memberships. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those 11 drinks while Vishanti explains to you what it means to take a Riley.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so there's a flat earther who lives in the north of England. His name is Anthony Riley. And he, unfortunately for him, but fortunately for us in our entertainment, was live streaming for so long doing his flat earth bullshit that he just decided he was going to take an empty plastic bottle from his desk and just pee in it right on the stream.
Yep.
Oh my.
For
Sorry.
God and everybody.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. So now we call it taking a Riley.
Oh,
Wow. Hey, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
But wouldn't taking a Riley be peeing in a bottle on stream as opposed to
Yeah, if
actually
you're doing
going
it
and
overly...
using the toilet like a
Yes,
like
if
a
you're being
sensible
very
human being?
literal, that would be a more specific use. But the thing is, in order to remind people of the fact that Sleeping Warrior / Anthony Riley did this, its use has broadened. It's had some semantic broadening, if you will.
Okay, yeah. No, I like it. It works.
We have a few more things. So for £5, Ben, Biogeography, I Choose You, Thick Tunicate says, Unleash! Max P, who's been a member for 50 months and is at the Tetrapod level, says, is Kip Jewish or Christian? To which I point out,
no.
Those aren't the only options.
My response to that is no. My second response, which I didn't type, but I was thinking it is, what the hell is wrong with you?
I'm going to go with, like, okay, do you know Boolean logic?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like a Boolean or, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the answer is yes if Kip is either Jewish or Christian, and it's no if he's neither. So the answer is no.
So the answer is no.
Yeah, so we're going Boolean today.
Okay.
Which I use
All
a
right,
lot.
people.
I learned Boolean
You know, though-
logic from the Navy, and then now I use it probably weekly.
I feel like I'm often not beating those charges, just because it's frustrating to me how often I have to. I don't do this on screen very much, and and it's because of the opportunities. But it feels like a lot of times when I'm in the chat on various other shows, not your show ever, but some various other shows that I watch on occasion, it feels like I'm often doing just a ton of exhausting damage control from people who don't seem to understand the difference between being, how do I put this? Being realistically, scientifically critical about human behavior, in particular as it applies to religion, and just being, religion's bad. And
Yeah.
it's exhausting. And
their
it's
definition is
always
anything that looks sufficiently like Protestant American Christianity.
Yeah,
yes.
well, I mean, that's
But
largely how the word religion was defined in the first place.
so often Judaism gets wrapped up into this too.
Yes, and I hate
right?
that. Please leave us
And
out of
that
it. Untag.
it's aggravating. It's frustrating. I am not Jewish, and I'm constantly I feel like I'm constantly carrying water and going, Guys, this is just not, when you say things like this is not, you're not criticizing Judaism. You're just not. You're criticizing this invented fantasy in your head about what you think it looks like, mostly because the only experience you have with it is through the Christian narratives about it that you inherited. And you can't shake those because for some reason you can't see that. For all the critical thinking that you believe that you are espousing, you can't see that.
If all you know about Judaism is what you read in the New Testament, you don't know anything about Judaism.
Absolutely not.
Maybe you should just
And
convert,
also
and then when
they-
they ask you
Max-
why, you can say,
Max
because I can't beat the
clarified-
charges.
And Max clarified in the chat, or tried to, I guess. I get those aren't the only two options, but I heard Kip talking about coming from Christianity, but get a Jewish vibe from him.
There's worse
What
vibes
does
to
that
get.
even
Jewish
mean?
vibe.
He
mean-
converted for some reason. Don't know why I thought that. Yeah, I don't know why you thought that either.
I
Interesting.
mean, so it's not the first time that I've had someone tell me that they were under the impression that Kip was Jewish. And I think it's because, Kip, you do a lot of work in early Jewish history and scripture, and generally speaking, when someone does a lot of research into a particular religious tradition, it often comes from a place of being or having been a member of that tradition.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I
Does
think
it?
that, yeah, often, not always.
Often. I mean, I agree. I think very
Being
often that's
interested in
where,
something.
but that's let's get real though. I mean, that's why the vast majority of members at SBL are Christians and Jewish people.
Yeah.
That's just practicing observant Christians and Jewish people. And to be frank and to be clear, that was my starting point. I don't know who knows what my life would have looked like if I was not raised in an evangelical Christian household.
There's a very good chance your interest would not be as narrowly focused on biblical issues.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. So, but I mean, to Vicious,
Hang on.
it's
Katie Lewis says, plus he has a beard and a ton of kids. He has 3. That's not a ton.
2, 3 kids.
I mean, it's one too many, but it's not a bunch. I'm just
Ouch.
kidding.
Which one?
I'm just kidding. There's a
Ouch.
friend of mine that played guitar in our orchestra, and he and his wife had 2 kids. And then when
Yeah.
he found out they were going to have a third, he just offhandedly goes, "Well, that's one too many," and I couldn't stop laughing.
Oh, you know what? I get this though, right? Because and this is something like my oldest is my 3 children are all adopted. My oldest we adopted first, and then my younger 2 are biological brothers who we adopted together. And there was a time, there was like a heartbreaking moment where he actually said this to me, and to my wife. He's like, sometimes I just don't even feel like I belong here because of the odd number, and it feels like my 2 brothers kind of have each other. They're really close in age. They're actual brothers, and you 2 are together, and then it's just like me, and I'm like, oh my god, dude,
My God.
right? It just I cried. I cried hard when
Baby.
he said that to me. But that's part of this, right? It's like I kind of get that. There's I think that's what he was feeling. He's like, there's a set number here, and I'm the odd one. So, but no, I have 3, and they're amazing, and they're all coming over for dinner later.
Good.
Hmm.
Also, I think
We're-
maybe somebody was getting you confused with Josh, who does have 5. 2 of which are twins.
Probably. Yes. That's also what I was thinking. Was that, and a beard? He also has a beard.
He does have
Or
a beard.
does the beard have a Dr. Josh?
Good question. I don't think it's a full enough beard to say that the beard is the primary.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
To me, you have to have a pretty substantial beard in order for the beard to be primary.
Very thick.
Yeah. But does he store paintbrushes in it?
I think he could.
Okay.
Or like Peter Griffin, where he had the bird that would
Yes.
come out at me.
I will say I have stored paintbrushes for immediate use in my human suit beard when I was painting more frequently. I have been like, I'm going to need this brush again. Just put it right in the beard, grab a different brush, use it, go back to the first brush. Yeah, I've done it. Far-Star Tad for $5 says, I forgot where we are. Kip has written no books, correct. Dapper should be extinct, correct. Vish, well, someone, and then there's a word that isn't a word, but I think it's waxed out my murals. AIG, Wang, etc. with a Ghidorah, so we'll take a drink. Thank you very much. Far-Star Tad. I'm not positive.
This is not a book. It really isn't.
No, it's not. It's a pamphlet at best.
At best.
No, Rhonda puts for $5 says, Kip, what the hell?
I think that was with regard to the Steam comment, wasn't it?
Either that or the making coffee late after both being warned not to.
Oh my god,
And
dude. I was
abandoning
here
Vish.
one time. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Vish. I am sorry.
Yeah, I'm not that angry about it because it wasn't something you did to me. It was something you did to Vishanti.
I know. It was thoughtless.
It's true.
And I'm sorry.
Far-Star Tad for $5 says, Kip is here so we can make fun of him. Don't play games, they're bad. There we go.
I just don't. I don't know. You know what? I really, really liked Need for Speed Underground and Need for Speed Underground 2. I played those a lot. But I don't know.
We'll get you to sign up
Everything
for Steam. And then we'll get you some video games that you can play.
Where am I going to find the time to do that?
Yeah, that's my thing is like I would rather there's other things that I would rather be doing and other things that I need to be doing, and every time I get involved with a game I end up playing it for way too long to the exclusion of things that need to be done, and I just have never really had that kind of self-control. So
yeah. So I guess that answers my question about whether do you play games?
In the last 20 years, I've played 2.
Wow.
Wait.
And only
See,
one
I
of
think
them,
I probably
one of them, well, no, 3 if you count the little mobile phone game that was like, okay, so 3, I'll say Marvel Avengers Academy. But only one of those was because somebody bought it for me on Steam, and I was like, okay, I need to play this because they bought it for me. I need
By the way, there's 2 more in that same category that you still need to play.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know.
I actually think I've played more games than Vish.
Wow.
And it's sad. Like I also played Need for Speed Most Wanted. But when I played that game, it basically, the only thing I would do was I would go drive my car and hang out at the airport, and I would just destroy cop cars. I do it for like an hour and a half.
No, that's a very reasonable thing to do.
And destroy cop cars, and I thought that was fun. But that's after a while, it does.
So it was Marvel Avengers Academy, which I desperately missed that game. It was so fun and derpy, and I loved it. Like, yeah, the whole like microtransactions thing was silly, but I just loved having like Marvel The Sims. It was fun. And then I played, Mass Effect 1. Quite liked it. And then I played Marvel's Midnight Suns, which basically went under right after it got released, and I'm very upset about that because that game had a lot of potential and the lore was really cool, and they had a potential to expand the island, and I was having a lot of fun with it, and
they didn't.
Can't have anything, man.
Wow.
Claude Simeon for $5 says, why are tangents favored over secants and co-secants? I cry foul. I mean, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Jennifer Silvas for $2 says, "Has anyone heard from Jess? I think you mean Heathen Queen."
Yeah, I talk to Jess
Oh.
fairly regularly. Jess is just very busy with school. Turns out grad school takes a lot of your time.
She texted me this last week, actually.
Oh, nice.
Cool,
Was
cool.
it for the book? Because she got your book. Yeah, nice.
She's very sweet.
Yeah.
Katie Lewis, who's been a member for 20 months and is at the annual level, says, "Dr. Kip, recently the NRSV was called satanic because it doesn't translate certain words as gay or homosexual. Please respond."
So, number one.
Well, wait, while you do this, I'm going to take 5 drinks for Fits of Rage sending 5 Dapper Dinosaur memberships.
Okay, so
Oh.
Dapper's drinking
Yeah.
while I'm talking. Number one, satanic is not a thing. It's a made-up bullshit thing
Yeah.
that is not real.
I feel like the Church
Nobody,
of Satan might disagree with you.
nobody. Okay, that's fair. So, but
And,
I mean, that's
well,
still
TST as well.
honestly though. Yeah. But
Cringe.
like, I don't know. I guess, and I'm all for people making up stuff. I mean, that's great. But and realistically, the Church of Satan and the Temple of Satan, by and large, are promotions of humanism that are not actually committed to the worship of a divine being identified as Satan. I think there's probably some people that are in there, but it's just not it's when most people say satanic, the thing that they're talking about is not real.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm getting at. So that's first.
Yeah.
And second, it's hard to imagine how something like a Bible translation could be satanic in view of how much focus there is on Satan in the entire, and I'm including the New Testament in this as well. In the entire text, it's just not a feature. And certainly not to the point of dominating the narrative to the exclusion of other things. And I'll just finally say what translators are doing, what they're trying to do, for the most part. I mean, some do it much better than others, and there's certainly theological factors that come into a play with a lot of translations. However, in particular with the NRSV, which is the preferred scholarly version still. One of the reasons for that is because of the sensitivity to trying to understand the language and its usage and its meaning within its cultural context. And because we're still really not clear on how ideas of human coupling, of sexual orientation, of queerness in antiquity even looked like or functioned half the time, they're trying to be sensitive to that too.
Yeah.
How was that?
Well, I think it was great. I hope that the original chatter, Katie, also agrees. And the only thing I would add is that, like, we're pretty sure that the concepts that modern people who speak English mean by the words gay and homosexual are definitely not what the authors meant when they used any words at all, because those concepts are fairly recent in terms of the history of human thought.
No question.
So it's sort of like, in a weird way, it's kind of like when creationists are like, well, how come they didn't use the word dinosaur in the Bible? And it's like, well, first, they didn't because no one had that concept when anything in the Bible was being written. But second, even if they had, the Bible doesn't ever talk about that because it wasn't a thing that anyone there wanted to talk about, even if they had known about it. So it shouldn't be in there, no matter how much you think the word dragon means dinosaur. Sorry. Okay, we have a few more things. So Kent Jeffrey of Arimathea Halstead for $4.99 says, "The last video game Kip played was Tennis for Two. I would buy that." Yeah, that could be.
No, I just told you.
To be fair, I think Kent sent that in before you said that.
Okay, fine.
Sapphire Equatorial Poles Light for 5. Yeah, Equatorial Poles. Were you around for that?
Eesh.
How recent was that?
It was Tuesday.
I don't no, I don't remember
Kenthoven
that.
suggested that maybe the South Pole was on the equator, which is definitionally
Oh
impossible.
my god, for real?
That's not how anything works.
What? No. How?
So I think what he was doing is he was conflating Antarctica with the South Pole, and he was trying to say that Antarctica was on the equator, but that's not what he said. He said that the South Pole was on the equator, which isn't
But
a thing.
Antarctica is not on the equator.
It was at one point, or at least
was
close.
A very, very long time ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
why we have jungles preserved in the fossil record of Antarctica,
Neato.
including dinosaurs.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What a
Trilobisaurus.
wild world in which we live.
That's also why our only fossils of marsupials are from Antarctica, South America, and Australia, because they used to be connected back when Antarctica wasn't a frozen wasteland. And marsupials evolved down there. So,
They came from the
Wow.
Hollow Earth. Confirmed.
definitely.
Yes.
Sapphire Equatorial Poles Light for $5 says Kip is everyone's favorite boomer grandpa that keeps talking about the Bible. Picture your favorite kaiju here. We'll take a drink for it.
God,
Trans rights
He's
are humans'
Gen
rights.
X. He's just boomer coded.
It's true.
boomer, guys. I'm not.
Speaking of, I spoke to my boomer mother this morning, but I don't even know why I just liked that chat. It made me irritated.
Farstar Tat for $5 says, "Stop talking about your Warhammer Minis, dinosaur. I am not talking about my Warhammer Minis at all. I don't actually know. I do currently have a few Warhammer miniatures. That's true.
I was gonna say, do you even have any? But it's
I
only
think I have about 10 Horus Heresy Alpha Legionnaires. I think somewhere. I think.
so probably running what, $400?
No, that's probably more like 50.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is still a lot because it's still like $5 for a tiny little plastic dude, but like whatever. The beard/person divide is Rick Rubin. Vish, I am sad you didn't notice the GNX reference. That's all from Star.
Look, I like GNX as a record. I don't have all of the lyrics memorized.
Well,
so.
this is disappointing. Counting.
Like, if you were to quote something from Mad City, I would be more likely to just know it offhand, but GNX, I haven't, listened to it enough times to just internalize all the words.
Also, we're only 4 super chats away from me sending in the first of a possible 2 Steam keys. So let's see. I need to scroll up a little bit. Where is Waldo for $10? Sorry, not dollar dues. These are beaver bucks. So your way there, Kip.
Nice.
Says, another day, another litany of creationist lies. Actually, I think it's just the same lie over and over again. Gotta change physics so the Bible can cope with facts. Yeah.
That's how it would work. Yes.
Basically, yeah. In this case, with this video, which we may or may not ever actually play any of, it's mostly we just gotta change logic so that affirming the consequent is actually logically valid. Because pretty much everything that Brian Thomas has done here is just affirm the consequent. So the basic argument goes, if the Bible is true, we should find archaeological evidence that references names and places mentioned in the Bible. We find archaeological evidence with the names of people and places from the Bible. Therefore, the Bible is true, which is just affirming the consequent. If P then Q, Q therefore P, which doesn't work. It's a logical fallacy. You can't say that you've disproven P. P is still a possibility. But just because Q is true doesn't make P true. So an example I've used, I think, in a script was like, okay, if Justin ate the potato chips, the potato chip bag will be empty. And you go and check. The potato chip bag is empty. Therefore, Justin ate the potato chips. Nope, hold on. There are other options. Maybe
Someone else ate them.
Maybe someone else ate them. Maybe Justin found that the potato chips were stale, so he just tossed them out and for some reason kept the bag.
Maybe it was empty when he got to it.
Maybe it was empty when he got to it. And it was just like defective from the factory. I don't know. Maybe a rat ate them. Lots of options. We can't rule out Justin having eaten the potato chips on the basis of the potato chip bag being open and eaten. But we can't say that he definitely did it. So, let's see. For $5, Claude Simeon says, growing up evangelical, I studied NASB. Upstart ESV has to go. more seriously, there's stiltedness to NASB I still appreciate. ESV reads weird to me. ESV also reads
Oh.
like, hey, here's a text that has a fair
Yeah.
bit of misogyny in it. What if we up the
Yeah.
Let's add
ante on
more.
that? Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
thing, right? ESV was cobbled
Yeah.
together by complementarians, like very serious complementarians for the
Mhm.
purpose of being complementarian. So yeah, that's why it reads.
I quite like the NASB. If I read an English translation just casually, if I'm not doing any kind of textual study, I'll probably go to the NASB because I find that it sticks enough close to like the text without paraphrasing all the meaning out of it.
Yep.
So I quite like it. I find it to be fairly robust. So
Jennifer Silvas for $2 says poles are magnetic, not axis of rotation, and I'm gonna have to correct you there. There are magnetic poles, and the Earth does have two poles for its diamagnetic field, which are the north and south poles. But when Kent was talking about this, he was talking specifically about temperature, and so I do not think he was talking about magnetic poles. But axis of rotation, that if you have an object that is rotating, the point of the surface of the object that the axis of rotation passes through is a pole. That's why when you're at 0 degrees, 90 degrees north or south, you're called at the south or the north pole, and why we call the north and south magnetic poles, because those are both poles. They're just not the same pole.
Mhm.
Far Star or Tad for $5 says bisexual erasure has existed forever. Heaven forfend someone be attracted to more than one presentation. I'm actually not sure that it, well, I mean, it is obviously very prominent, especially just looking around right now. But on the other hand, I'm not actually sure it's been prominent everywhere. For instance, like it was generally expected in the Spartan military that pretty much everyone, all of whom were men, would be paired off with a male lover that they would have during their military service.
Yeah.
And then they would, most of the time, after their military service was done, go and start a family with a wife. And then also go have fun times with other guys that would just, hang out for the night. So I don't think it's actually true that bisexual erasure has been, like, prominent everywhere. Although I guess you didn't say that. You just said existed for forever. And that might be true. I don't know. But then again, another part of the problem is that the idea of bisexuality in terms of a sexual orientation is itself fairly recent compared to the stretch of history.
Invention.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you went back to, like 3,000 years ago and asked if anyone was bisexual, there wouldn't even be a word that you could use in a language that anyone understood that would express that idea. So like, it's complicated. And like Kip said, one of the problems is that while we do know some things about how sexuality was treated in the ancient world, there's a lot we don't know. In part because, people tended not to talk about it because it wasn't all that polite in many circumstances. So, although then again, in the dialogues by Plato, there's definitely one that starts out with pretty much everyone trying to get one of the guys in the circle of guys to have sex with them. Mostly failing. So that is one of the Platonic dialogues. Yeah. In fact, one of them even complains that the last time he slept at that guy's house, he was completely untouched. Yeah.
I love ancient literature.
He was like, I was here the whole night and you didn't do a thing. Yep.
What kind of hospitality outfit are you running here, guy?
Right?
But by the way, I did want to point out that Reina Vaste, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, I think has a very good, concise description of the ESV here. ESV is basically what if the Bible, but also women more bad.
Jeez.
Well,
Oh, I think I actually have an ESV somewhere. I think it's on like the shelf, like in my bedroom. And I don't know that I've cracked it open in years.
So this is embarrassing, but while I was working in Norway on translating and publishing stuff from a Norwegian private collection, Dead Sea Scrolls and Artifacts, I ended up. So I have an electronic version of ESV installed on my software, the reason for that is because the project leader, my lips play flute for the highest.
Fucking tower life.
What was when it came to adding modules to the software to use in the service of the project, thought ESV, and so I have it.
It's an odd choice.
It really is. It was odd when he said, when we're looking at, what are some English translations that we can use as refinements to the ways in which we want to work
That
through
was,
some of these. And he
one of
was
the
like,
choices.
yeah, that was one of them, right? I was like, oh, okay. I guess. Is
All
this
right.
an English as my second language
It might be.
problem? And it might be.
Mm.
It honestly might be, but I don't know. My lips play flute for the highest.
Nether 6 biblical accurate tunicate, which I still maintain is just a tunicate with one eye, since they normally have 0 eyes. Says who's been a member for 22 months, is at the Tetrabot level. Says, love to paint GW Night Hunt faction. Spooky. Yeah, the Night Lords are a fun faction, although their battle cry always makes my brain itch, because their battle cry is Ave Dominus Nox, which is really bad Latin. It should be Ave Domine Noctis. Hail Lord, vocative case, because it's direct address. And then Nox is nominative, but what you want there is genitive, which is Noctis, because it's Lord of the Night, not just the Lord the Night. Which, because what it actually, if you said Ave Nox, you would be saying Hail Night, because Nox doesn't have a separate vocative form. It's just the same as the nominative form, like it is for most nouns in Latin. But yeah, it's. But also, I do like that Night Haunter is basically just Bizarro Batman, in that he is a vigilante who brings down crime to 0. And not just his hometown, but the whole planet. But he does it by doing the exact opposite of Batman's "we don't kill people" rule. In fact, he's like, what if we just flayed everyone alive in public and broadcast the screams across the entire planet on all the TV channels? And then that's what happens when you don't pay your damn parking ticket. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. And then, the Emperor shows up and he was like, what if we took you and all your buddies as a whole new legion of Space Marines? And then later he got mad because, hey, why are you doing all this torture shit? It's like, my guy, you saw what he was doing. Why is any of this a surprise? Anyway, Sai10 616 for 25 of the Romanian currency, which I'm going to let Vishanti pronounce, because I don't speak Romanian.
Wait, what are we doing?
Whatever the Romanian currency is. I think it's LEU, and I don't know how to say that.
Oh, it's lei.
Lei? I would never have guessed that. Yeah. It would have taken me a million years, and I would not have guessed that's how it's pronounced. But it says, creationists prove common descent. Dwayne Gish is the last common ancestor of creationists. There is some truth to this. Yeah. Farstar Tad for $5 says, I'm not talking about sex or penetration. Those things are not quite the same as attraction. That's true. Although, generally, between two consenting adults, if you're not attracted to each other, you're unlikely to have any sex or penetration going on. So, yeah. The idea that you can be interested in both genders is new. Well, again, that's the complicated thing, right? The idea that that's an orientation, that some people just have this non-choice interest in people based on gender, and then there are some people who are interested in the same gender versus some people who are interested in the other gender, and then there are some people who are interested in both. That whole paradigm of orientation itself is a fairly new concept in the course of human history. So that's one of the complicated things, right? So in a lot of the ancient world, it wasn't so much about attraction to a gender more than it was about having a dominant or submissive role in some kind of hierarchy. And so
yeah, I mean, look, I can simplify this down. They thought way more in terms of top and bottom than they did what we now call gender,
Yeah,
orientation,
Yeah.
all these other things. Like, those are words that we use now. The language that we put around this stuff is very modern. They didn't think with those terms in those categories. It was much closer to top and bottom.
Yeah.
Where top is okay,
Sorry.
bottom
Is
is
it where-
not.
Well,
is
it's
this where
not
I
just
was
that
distracted. Are we?
bottom's
Is this
not
Farstead
okay.
or Tad's super chat?
Yeah, this is Farstar
that you
Attacks.
guys are talking about.
It's not that bottom's not okay. It's that only some people are supposed to be tops to other people who are supposed
Well,
to
that's
be
where I was
bottoms to those people.
getting at. It's like, generally men were not supposed to be bottoms,
Yeah,
because
it was-
ideally you want to be the top.
Right. It was considered to be a low status thing. But there were men who were in low statuses who therefore were largely forced to perform that role. So, often slaves.
Something that I feel like needs to be pointed out is that I mean, one of the reasons why we have such an imperfect understanding of a lot of this stuff in antiquity also has to do with the social locution of the texts themselves. They're written within certain contexts for certain people, that will also often color the ways in which
Yeah.
we read them. And this is where it's difficult sometimes to go, okay, so is this describing like a general behavior, or is this restricted to this audience or that audience? And that's hard. Like, it's often very unclear
Yeah.
in
But
those situations.
It's not just with sex, too, right? Like, we have ideas
All
about, like,
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when you get to, like, the pork taboo in the Bible, if you go
Right.
by when that text is probably written, then you would think that, okay, so that's when people in Canaan, by and
Yeah.
large, at least those who had identified as Israelites, stopped eating pork or weren't eating pork. But then you go to the archaeology, it's like, no, almost everybody was still eating pork and did not give a damn.
Yeah.
Much
And
like
then-
today.
Much-
Yeah. I've definitely
And then-
come upon my Jewish friends eating a ham sandwich or chowing down on some bacon.
And they don't
And
give a
then-
fuck.
No, nor should they. It's not my. It's not my business. It's up to them.
And then too, I mean, when we do encounter, because we do, there is a clear, pretty dramatic reduction in pork consumption among certain communities at certain stages.
Yeah.
In the development of so-called Israelite culture. But then even approaching that question, just because everything that we have at our disposal in terms of the texts, and I mean everything, frames this in a cult, like within a cultic construct. And this is something that I've raised the question. I'm not the first one. Scholars have raised questions about this. Is it that? Does this just have to do with pragmatic, like, utility in terms of raising pork? Or does this even have an ideological perspective to it that's just lost on us now? I mean, one of the directions I tend to go is, and if you have any experience with actually raising pork, you understand this. You don't need a lot of room
No.
to keep pigs.
One of the
anywhere.
advantages of
Would-
pigs.
Yes, and it makes it, it makes it a kind of an ideal animal to keep in the city.
They are very
inside
low
city walls.
maintenance.
Very
terms of,
low
like,
maintenance.
Finding them food. They don't require specific, like, bespoke diets. They will
They
eat
don't need
anything.
much space. You can keep keep giant pigs in like these small pens, right? So how much of this, how much of the abstinence from eating pork products had much more to do with strong convictions about drawing these hard distinctions between the urban elites and the hilltop settlers or farmers or villagers, just in terms of like social ideation. There's lots of questions.
The
that we
Bible
have
certainly
about
has
this.
a sort of pro-pastoral tenor to it in a lot of places.
Strong. It's really strong in a lot of places.
Yeah. Gordon Love Science for $19.99. Thank you very much. That's extremely generous. Says the best trio in this area of study. Love to support Vish, Kip, and Dapper. Thank you very much.
It's very sweet. Thank you. Thank you, Gordon.
My area of study is shit posting, so thank you. While Kip was busy getting his PhD, I was studying the blade.
Awesome.
Wow.
So it looks like right now we are sitting at 36% of the way to the second Steam key. I keep saying stream, I don't know why. And also only one super chat away from the first of the giveaways, which remember,
What?
I'm just going to put it in chat, and it is first come, first serve. You do not have to have super chatted. You don't have to be a channel member. You just have to be here and be fast. That's it. I will tell you the name of the game beforehand, so that way, if you already have it, you know not to bother, or if it doesn't interest you, also, please don't bother so that someone who is interested can get it. Because I'd rather that someone who's going to get use out of the key get the key. But I'm going to actually hit play because we kind
Oh my
of
God.
ran out.
Wait,
I was about to ask. I was like, what happens
Yeah.
if we just never end up turning on the video?
I
That's
mean, all
fine.
you did was get through super chats. Like, is that
That's
the
true.
one metric that we're using?
Well,
Is
that
super
it?
chats and member
I said
chats for
those
whether or
things,
not
and
we-
then people didn't have a whole new topic to discuss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit
fair.
play real
Do you
quick.
realize that I
Okay.
always have like at least half a dozen topics at any given time just ready to go? Like, I just pick them off the mental shelf here.
I do, but you didn't.
I mean, I can right now. I literally, in the mail yesterday,
Uh-oh.
or the day before, I got a copy of Judeophobia in the New Testament, a collection of essays, which is a very good.
Ooh.
Oh yes, oh yes. I had my eye on this for a while, and it finally
Wow.
dropped down to like $10, and I was like, and purchase. So I'm
when
gonna be
was
going
that
through,
published?
like a year ago ish,
Oh, wow.
not quite. Yeah, it's very good. There's some names in there you're gonna recognize, and
I would hope so.
yeah, there were some people in my circles that got a little ruffled by it because they didn't appreciate that there's this apparently new term called Judeophobia, and I was like, I don't understand what the problem is here. So they were gonna go get a copy of the book so that they could, I guess, dunk on it. But it turns out that some of our mutual scholar interests sent them a copy, and they seem to have realized, oh, I see why they picked this term and did things this way. So yeah, I've been wanting to go through this for quite some time. Also, once again, shout out to Claude Simeon, who got me another book, a dictionary of the Talmud, that was on my wish list. So when my Talmud class
Nice.
starts up very soon, I will have the resources I need to participate fully.
Well, Farstar Tad for $5 says no key for Kip, which does in fact put us to the halfway through, which means I'm going
Hey.
to be sending a Steam key for the game Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Prophecy, which is an action RPG in a genre that's basically similar to Diablo. So it's going to be a top-down isometric action RPG. So if you don't have that and that interests you, here you go. Now, in
And-
case
I like.
Oh, good.
I was going to say is I like the name. I like that they named the app Steam.
Yeah,
It's cool.
It is cool.
Well, it's because the company's Valve.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That is
Valve
even
the company.
cooler.
So in
Yeah.
case anyone is wondering, the majority of these Steam keys are coming from the fact that I bought a Humble Bundle for Warhammer games, and I already had several of them. So a lot of these Steam keys are going to be Warhammer games. So if that doesn't interest you, then I guess don't care about the Steam keys.
And
But,
yeah, Claude Simeon is saying, what the hell, hardcover for $7 for the
That's wild.
Judeophobia book? But yes.
Max
That's
P,
why I was like, and purchase.
Max
That
P
is
says that they got it. So congratulations to Max P
wow.
for getting Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Prophecy.
That is a price that my hardcover will never be. So wow.
Wow. Not even in the
$7?
bargain bin?
I guess maybe you'll find it in some places where some people decide to get rid of it. But who would, right? Who would
Estates.
do that?
An estate sale.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Especially if the person who died and whose estate is being sold off, their heirs also already have the book.
Or they just don't have
that's
any
true.
interest in that topic whatsoever and are
That's
like,
impossible. That's impossible.
No.
Everyone is interested in Kip's
real
book
of it.
that he has not written because he has written no books.
No books.
That is in fact how it works.
okay,
So do you remember?
sure.
Cognitive Trifurcation says, well, as someone who's going to get that bundle, the keys are useless to me. Okay, but not all of the keys that I have are from that bundle. I have a few other keys that are in here that are definitely not from that, and that aren't even Warhammer games, as well as a couple that are Warhammer games that aren't in the bundle. So, you never know. Melly for $5 says, Tangent Stream. Vish, what are the top 3 books on your to-read list?
Oh, well, hell, that's easy. It's this one, the Judeophobia book, which I just got, and then Haunted Volumes 1 and 2, which is a collection of spooky short stories by super cool authors and creators that I like. One of them is C. Robert Cargill, who's responsible for writing Sinister and The Black Phone.
Nice.
And another one is David Lawson, who is one of the 3 owners of Rustic Films, which produced such amazing films as Resolution in the Endless and Something in the Dirt. So, yeah, there's some really good gems in there, and I've been wanting to read it because my favorite thing in the whole world is short stories. I've read most of Stephen King's short story collections, and I've never read a full-length novel by him, and I do not intend to.
And also, speaking of short stories, Vishanti, right before this, was like, hey, Dapper, here's a free existential crisis by sending you the 99 billion names of God. So,
Arthur C. Clarke, baby!
Yeah.
Literally, you could just read it in, 3 minutes? It's
it's
so
extremely
good.
short.
I love this.
And of course, I've already read this, so I'm just like, gee, thanks for the free existential crisis, Vishanti.
The amount of people whose psyche that's scarred when they were younger, just going, oh, well, here's a really cool short story from like a sci-fi author that I like. Oh my god!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to be ready for that story. It's might not be as light a read as its length would indicate.
Exactly.
Carnivore Frog, who's been a member for 19 months, is at the Tetrapod level, says, happy Saturday, everyone, with a Godzilla. Well, happy Saturday to you too. Unless it's Sunday where you live, because it is for some people, in which case, happy Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that the 9 billion names of God, I feel like that has a direct link. Thematic descendant is probably the movie Pi by Aronofsky, which I love.
Oh, yeah.
That story's just very Jewish coded.
How
like
have
I know
I
it's
not
about Tibetan monks, but
seen
holy
that
shit.
movie?
Oh, I thought you meant Pi. I was like,
God,
of course Pi is Jewish coded. The main characters are Jewish.
Yeah, but like the whole thing about the names of God and like crazy gematria and people going
yeah.
insane, trying to like figure out all the names of God and stuff. Yeah, it's very much the thematic descendant of this.
Pi?
Have you not seen Pi?
I don't know anything, and I
my.
love a lot of what Darren Aronofsky has done.
Oh man, it is so good.
John,
Woo!
do you think
that on the
Pi
list?
counts as spooky? Can we put it on the list and watch it with Kip and have that count as a spooky
I
movie?
could have sworn it's already on the list. Let me
Is it?
check real quick. If
have
it's
a
not,
movie
it's
list.
going on there because it's
Okay.
absolutely like psychological thriller.
Yeah. In case
I
it's
feel like I
not
need
well
to see
known,
this one.
Vishanti and I, for I think a couple years, have attempted, and I believe last year we were successful, in watching 31 spooky movies during the month of October. Not necessarily one per day, because we got to be flexible about that. But we're trying this month, and we're currently one behind, which is easy to fix. We can just watch 2 on one of these days and fix it. But yeah.
Wow, does that mean? I guess it means you. Well, yeah, I knew that you guys watch movies without me.
Yes, Skip. We don't always watch movies with you. But I'm perfectly happy to watch spooky movies with you and also count them because they're spooky movies. Yeah.
So, but then I can't count them. So I missed out on the 31 movies train. So
you missed out like years ago.
It's fine. And I'm busy.
Yeah.
So
that is another thing. Is it's not as frequent that I ask to watch a movie and that you are around versus.
It's true. That is very true. Yeah. There are many
because you're off not playing video games either.
I got shit to do. Yeah. So
I added it to the list because apparently it wasn't already on there. But
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it's on there now, and I was
looking at the list actually. a couple days ago.
While you say this, I'm going
And,
to take 5 drinks for Carnival Frogs, 5 Dapper Dinosaur memberships. Thank you.
There are. I didn't count them all, but I guess now there's 311 lines on that spreadsheet.
Slightly less because there's
No,
title
that's how many
bars.
lines. Well, I know. Yes. So
It's
Yeah.
not saying that's how many movies. It's the lines.
No.
right.
So it's probably close to 300 movies.
It's about that,
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
give or take.
Yeah. Wow.
I've seen over 300 movies.
I have too. I mean, I'm a lot older, and
No, you're not.
yeah.
I'm 150 million years old, kid.
Okay, fine. I'm a lot older than your human suit.
Well, that's true. I did not get that 150
So,
million years
and
ago.
I don't think you were watching movies in the 1970s. I just don't think you were.
That's classified.
So,
I can't reveal the information there.
Right. So, yeah.
Also, I put VHS Halloween in there, even though I'm like,
That's fair.
I feel like I care less about that one.
It was as is statistically the thing. I'm not the only one who picked up on the themes of kid print, so
Yeah.
that was a relief to find that I'm like, oh, good, not everybody missed that.
Yeah.
Yay, I guess.
Although I will say that I do still maintain that the short in VHS Halloween, which, by the way, if you're interested in the movie we're talking about, it's on Shudder. What's it? Utsupra.
Utsupra.
Stick
Yeah, that
Infra
one was actually pretty
that
good.
was really.
It was
I think it was a standout one.
underdeveloped, but yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, you only have so long, and I think it worked pretty well.
Yeah.
I think it was my favorite of the shorts. Although
Yeah.
the haunted house one was also a lot of fun. So
Oh yeah, Coochie Coochie Coo.
there was
That was a good, strong opening, even though that like protagonists are fucking morons. But
well, yeah, but their protagonist
You
is a horror
know.
movie. That's almost required.
we know what we're getting into. It's a VHS movie. They're not
Yeah.
the brightest.
Also, it's a VHS movie starring teenagers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Teenagers in a horror movie basically have 1.5 brain cells between the entire group of teenagers.
I will say this though, that this one didn't have as many novel concepts to me, which was disappointing because like you get stuff like was it the second VHS movie that had the one about the zombie outbreak and the guy has
the Mexican
so
zombies.
for the audience. No, that was Bone Storm. That's Benson and Moorhead, by the way. This one was a guy who's got his little GoPro on his bike helmet.
Yeah,
He's just
okay.
riding on the trail, and then he stumbles across a zombie outbreak.
Mhm.
And then when he gets turned, the rest of the short is from his point of view.
Yeah, the zombie POV.
As he, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was
excellent.
that was so good. Like that's very clever. That's novel to
Although,
me, and I like
I
that. kind of
do
stuff.
also like the Mexican zombies.
For me, for whatever reason, that one just does not hit for me because it takes too long to get to the freaking point.
That's fair.
You know?
Yeah, I can
And
see
that's
that.
unusual for me for a Benson and Moorhead movie is that usually they drop supernatural hints a little earlier in Act 1. They don't usually wait until like close to the end, but that was also in their early filmmaking days, so I think they've nailed down their whole vibe by now.
Omegon, who's been a member for 31 months, is at the Tetrapod level, says, I am Alfarius, which is a curious thing for you to say, Omegon. I don't know.
Wait, am I missing why did my chat not show that? Let
I don't
me
know.
just...
Do you have it
did
set
it
to live
crash?
chat? It might have crashed.
Did your
That's
chat-
Yep.
Did your
Oh
chat
yeah,
crash?
always.
Yeah, that happens.
Mine's
I don't know. I don't
crashed.
trust this Omegon guy. Seems shady. Seems
Frustrating.
shady.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
look
know
at
who
all
that
these
is.
other comments that just didn't come through. Cool. Thanks, YouTube.
Yeah.
Thanks, YouTube.
Appreciate that.
Thanks.
YouTube can be like that.
So anyway, those came true. Those world powers came true just as
Oh, right. We're talking about Daniel, aren't we?
Yeah, we're
Jeez.
talking
Alex
about the
Markel.
statue in Daniel.
Oh no, we're not. Alex Markel
Right.
just asked about K-pop Demon Hunters. I actually, despite myself, I actually liked it. I wasn't gonna watch it, and I admit that I'm very picky about movies, and I admit to being contrarian. And when something is too popular, I'm like, you know,
Hipster.
the vast majority of people that I know don't have the same kind of movie taste I do and just don't really have super good taste at all, but that's fine. And I was like, yeah, it's just going to be overhyped. I don't really want to watch this thing. It doesn't look like something I would be interested in, but I was hanging out with my friends Monday night, dead dog party type of thing after Dragon Con. And one of the people in the room just puts it on. And so I watched like the last 2/3 of it. And I was like, oh, okay, this is actually pretty cool. So
Still haven't gotten around to it.
it's actually pretty good.
I've heard.
And some of the songs are catchy, which I resent because I don't really consider myself a fan of K-pop.
Look, just there are a lot of genres of music that I'm not really into, but that there are a few songs within that genre that I'm like, yeah, no, I like this. This is a good one. It happens.
Yeah.
But
I mean, hey, there have been many times before where I've been wrong about my initial vibe about a movie, and I'm perfectly happy to admit that. So.
Yeah. I also want to point out that it's very easy to say that the prophecy of the nations from the statue in Daniel have come true when you read into the prophecy things that were never there that you pulled from history written after the prophecy. It's really easy.
Yeah.
Like, see this? This must be America. And what do you know? There's an America. Ooh. Yeah, good job, Brian.
When you know. When you know it.
I remember actually thinking that when I was very young, I remember thinking that this made intuitive sense because, you know, America is eagle and Russia is bear, and you know there's an eagle and bear and the
you know who else is
obviously,
eagle
that's
though?
the
Rome.
Germany.
yeah.
Rome is
Oh, I
also
know.
eagle. Yeah.
I know, but I was 17.
Like half the Slavic nations.
So we had a Sunday school teacher who taught the high school Sunday school at my church, and he loved teaching this dispensational bullshit.
Yeah.
And one of the things this was always very interesting. He for his Sunday school classroom, he hung up like their bed sheets. But on the bed sheets is painted this elaborate timeline mural of the history of the world on the basis of dispensationalism.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
With different dispensations marked out and labeled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now these specific bed sheets though were part of they're almost like an historical artifact. They're part of a set that I think there was like a dozen of these things that were actually commissioned by Ernest Manning, who was the premier of the province of Alberta in the 1950s, 1960s, who was also an evangelist who would do his weekly radio program from the desk of the premier in Edmonton. His son was Preston Manning, went on to be one of the founders of the Reform Party, which eventually came to take over the conservative movement in my country. And I have, you know, very resentful feelings about that. But somehow my Sunday school teacher got a hold of these historic bed sheets with the dispensational timeline painted all over them. Yes.
So in the chat, Fibonacci single-celled trilobites 8 writes, the bed sheets at Turin. And Hollyhock is saying on bed sheets, that's a lot of dedication. And then Prixie Purple says, wait, are they printed bed sheets? Can you buy them?
No. These were painted bed sheets.
Paints on a bed sheet.
I don't know. But Ernest Manning hired someone to do it, and to do it many times.
Really?
Yes.
That's so weird to me.
It's weird. It's very weird. But
when you said they were painted, that you meant like this guy painted them one time, and then that was like his teaching aid. But now you're telling me like this was a production.
The premier Yes, the premier of Alberta paid someone to make multiple copies of painted bed sheets to
I think that might be worse than
timelines.
Mike Johnson being a
Writing
listed
for the
author in Answers in Genesis. Yeah.
Yeah, I
think
was just thinking
Alberta might have the U.S. House of Representatives beat on that one.
Jeez.
That's
Alberta's
not a
an interesting
competition that
place.
I
You don't
feel
wanna be
like
in that
should
one,
have
yeah.
a winner.
Yeah,
Please don't engage
yeah.
with that.
So
Yikes! That is both bizarre and kind of horrifying. And hey, in case anyone is wondering, while dispensationalists often teach dispensationalist theology, as if it is just what Christianity is,
it's just what it is.
it is in fact both fairly recent and fairly narrowly accepted among Christians worldwide.
You
Most
never know that if you
Christians-
go to a Southern Baptist church, though.
Correct, but most Christians are not and have never been dispensationalists.
I think it's something I didn't learn until I was in university.
That seems reasonable. And that's one of the things is, I feel like unless you're in a fairly... If you're in the United States or Canada, or largely the Anglosphere, right? Unless you happen to be in one of the like minority Christian groups on a large scale, like Catholic or one of the various Orthodox groups or something like that, you tend to just assume that what your church is teaching is what Christianity is, and you don't tend to notice that there's a wider range of theological positions, of social positions, of styles of liturgy, of all sorts of things within Christianity. Whereas if you are in one of those, it's hard not to notice because the dominant version of Christianity is very clearly not yours. Like, I'm guessing that if you're growing up as, like, I don't know, like a Coptic Orthodox kid in the United States, chances are you're going to notice that not all the Christians are just like you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which also, Tucson has 2 Coptic Orthodox churches. It's weird that we even have 1. I don't know how we managed to get 2. But, like, okay.
Yeah, so Katie Lewis, going back to the bed sheet, says using sheets as a source of a large fabric for amateur artwork is actually the most normal part of the story.
Is it? Okay. Hey, I don't know.
I agree. I mean,
Like, why?
Why not canvas, though? You can get canvas that big, can't you?
yeah, but bed sheets are cheaper.
Probably.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah, they are cheap. But
Maybe
you're also
more.
hiring
Maybe
an
more.
artist.
I think too. Maybe more transportable. That might have something to do with it.
Okay.
Right? You can
Yeah, you just
you can
roll 'em up.
fold them up and stick them in the trunk of your car.
Okay, that's fair.
On the size, like these are like, if you think about it, like it was a big room, and he hung them up, and it literally, like filled every wall of the room. So I mean, there was a lot. Like it was huge.
Okay.
So
I'm imagining 1 or 2 sheets. I guess I'm just
no.
completely out of my
It
depth
was
here.
like 10. It was like 10 bed sheets. It was nuts. It looked really impressive, but
I mean, it's an
just,
impressive amount of effort at the very least.
Yeah, right. So, and I think the painter was relatively talented.
Okay.
So,
Well, I mean, look, there's a lot of things that I can say are impressive that I wish didn't exist. Right?
for sure.
Like the Ark encounter in Kentucky.
Yes.
I'm not going to pretend that's not an impressive structure. It is an impressive structure.
Yeah.
I wish it didn't exist.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Olivia Williams for 5 Beaver Bucks says, I will just say that in Quebec, the dominant one is Catholic. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I suppose I should have said, like, Anglo-Canada rather than just Canada. So my apologies there. But there's also a Ghidorah, and I will take a drink. And, you would think that I would know that, given that on my adopted human family, 1/2 of the family is Quebecois. So,
Sorry.
yep. In fact, actually, when I was in the Navy, I met someone else who was related to the Quebecois side of my family and had my mom's maiden name as his name, and he looked like someone who was one of my cousins. But we had never met.
Wow.
And it was weird. And, like, I just looked at him and he was like, this guy looks like he's related to me. And I look at his name tag, I'm like, this guy's definitely related to me.
That's kind of wild.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
it's an absurdly Quebecois name. I'm not going to say it because then people are going to try to steal my identity. But like, it's not a name where you would be confused as to where this person comes from.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I never have
That's-
that problem with the last name that I have. So
It's so funny though, because like my
Yeah.
mom's side of the family, even in Filipino and Mexican families, they're very not super common surnames. So like
Hmm.
even then I'm like, okay, yeah, we're just, super special. And then you go over to my dad's side of the family, and my dad was actually adopted, but he was adopted by his biological father's sister. So in a weird way, it's like not technically adopted, but when his adopted mother got married, she took the new surname. So my dad's actual birth surname is Davis.
Wait.
Yeah.
Are you and Kip related?
Must
Doubtful.
be. Must
Well, I
be.
mean,
Very doubtful.
Hold on. No,
Although-
you're definitely related.
at some point.
All
but, yeah,
humans are.
we all are.
All humans are related, but within any reasonable span of time, the answer to
Okay.
that is almost certainly not.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I have so I will say that I don't know anything about this, but whenever I watch shows or movies with Mackenzie Davis in them, every time I'm like, my God, she looks like all of my female cousins, like all of them, and
if
it just
only,
makes me go,
if only there was someone who did professional level
genealogical
genealogy work
I
that you
know,
could
right?
hire to work on this
It's
problem.
I think there's someone I know who could do that.
Oh, who is it?
I bet it's Fish.
Oh my goodness! Did you guys
I know, right?
that Vish's channel is linked in the description, and she offers on her Patreon
Actually, not
genealogical
anymore.
service? Oh,
Actual genealogical.
Not on the
can hi-
Patreon.
okay, but you can hire her specifically for
you can.
genealogical services. So
Yeah, I didn't
there you
announce
go.
it on my community post, but this week I actually did add a new tier. It's just like I think a $5 tier. So
Okay.
it starts at $3, and then there's a 5, a 10, 25, and then there's a couple higher ones. I don't know why you would do that, but if you want to, I'm not going to stop you. And
people are generous sometimes.
that is true. So yeah, I went and finally got around to like revamping my Patreon a little bit. And yeah, it's just whew, this week was a whirlwind.
Was an excellent segue into an ad for Vishanti Services there, Kit. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, look, I want to help promote my
It's
co-hosts.
a public service.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Vishanti does good genealogy work. I've seen some of the stuff she works on, and it's like she's sitting there reading like late medieval Spanish. It's
Mhm.
like just reading it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can read some Spanish, but I'm not going to sit there and do that. Mm-mm. And she's just
Not
there like, oh, look,
easy.
here-
But
here's
yeah,
what it
it's-
says.
It's cool, yeah, and like the early colonial period just has really randomly interesting facts that you stumble across in these parish records.
You get to know every time someone's a bastard.
well,
They make sure to record it.
yes, they record that, but also, they're because of the early colonial period, there weren't numerically as many people. They're gonna have to be dispensations and not the evangelical theological type. You
Right.
have to get permission to marry people who are actually like somewhat distantly related to you to make sure that your consanguinity is not too close. So those are my favorite things to stumble upon, because you don't just get the names of the people and their parents, you get like 4 or 5 generations back, and that's a genealogist's like dream. They'll draw out the trees sometimes, and I'm just like, yes, thank you for saving me all this work.
Nice. That's really convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, ancient Mexican priest.
Ancient.
I'm exaggerating. It's not ancient. Prixie nesting doll biomes purple, which is great. Thank you. For $5 says, you mean my Albanian Orthodox upbringing wasn't dominant Christianity in Midwestern USA? Shocked emoji with the Mothra. We'll take a drink. No, actually, it probably wasn't. Although I'm very interested how that managed to work out. Because, like,
Right.
I'm assuming that you weren't part of like a family that converted, because if there's something I know about Orthodoxy in the United States, or Eastern Orthodoxy in the United States, is that generally converts end up joining the Orthodox Church in America or the Antiochian Archdiocese. So, like, is there just like a little community of Albanians out in the Midwest That's
I
like
mean,
where you grew up.
why not?
I mean,
There's a Romanian diaspora out here in LA and Orange County. It happened after the
But
revolution.
those are big cities. It's much more likely to get things like that in a big city.
There are some big cities in the Midwest.
What, like Boulder?
Chicago,
Chicago?
St. Louis, Minneapolis.
They're
I mean, come on.
barely count. Barely,
I'm just saying.
I suppose. But yeah. So that's interesting. And yeah, actually, if I remember correctly, I think a few decades ago, there was like a mass conversion of Protestants to like the into the Antiochian archdiocese. It was like this church network of Protestants, and as they were going, they were like their network of pastors were like digging more into like Christian history, which is something Protestants
And
sometimes
that's
do.
where they landed.
And
Okay.
yeah, they eventually adopted more and more theology and liturgical aspects that were tied to Eastern Orthodoxy. And then eventually they were just like, what if we just joined?
Yeah, let's just convert. Yeah.
We'll just convert. And so, yeah, like a bishop and some priests went out and they did interviews and held like classes with different parishes and whatnot. And then generally they did like mass conversion ceremonies. And then right after that, the pastors of those, the now former pastors, I suppose, were ordained to be deacons, and then very quickly afterwards to be priests, so that they could continue serving in the same role in what are now Antiochian Orthodox parishes that used to be
God, that's
Protestant
crazy.
churches. Yeah, and it was a weird whole story, and like I've met a few people who were part of that, and I mean they were nice to me. I don't know them very well, but I've met some.
Prixie clarifies my grandfather was an Albanian immigrant. He helped found an Albanian Orthodox church.
Ah, okay. That's pretty neat. It's gotta be tough to found a church from like some place that's pretty far away where there can't be that many people. And like you're gonna have to send back to like the home country to get a priest or something. That sounds like a pretty big
A tiny population of people living in a diaspora
yes.
that have to send back to the old world for clergy. I wouldn't know what that's like at all.
Okay, but that wasn't your lived experience.
There's actually a story about that in Second Kings.
But yeah, it sounds like it's it would certainly be an interesting experience to live through that whole thing. I've certainly never been in that position. I don't think I've ever been in a religious group that was small enough where I lived that they needed to like desperately send back to a different continent just to get a clergy member over. In fact, I'm trying to think if I've ever actually gone to a church that had a non-American, like as the head pastor, priest, or whatever.
Oh, you want to hear something funny? I grew up in, and I lived for a couple years when I was first married in Calgary, Alberta. It's my hometown. And there is a town just outside of Calgary called Cochrane. And not named after Zephyr Conqueror.
I was going to ask, actually.
It's not.
Okay.
It's
too bad.
So yes.
So I mean, he was from Montana anyway, not Alberta, so it makes sense.
Well, I mean, how much can you trust the lore, really?
I mean, they went back in time to literally meet him in Montana.
I suppose that's fair, but I mean, we don't know if he was from Montana, do
well, he's also often sometimes called Zephyr Cochrane of of Alpha Centauri.
Cochrane.
So you know,
of Alberta, right?
No, he's never been called that.
Okay. So, anyways, in Cochrane, just to the west of Calgary, there is a seminary, and it is a Southern Baptist seminary. There are, as far as I know, maybe there are now, but I had no idea. I did not think there were Southern Baptist churches in Canada. Maybe I'm wrong.
There must be. I mean, I doubt they would put a seminary in Canada if they weren't servicing churches.
And then so all the faculty and staff at the Southern Baptist Seminary in Cochrane were Americans, and the seminary and all the staff were funded and supported by the Southern Baptist missions branch.
Okay.
So it was going into the mission field in just outside of Calgary, Alberta, in Canada. So yeah. So
That is-
apparently,
Sapphire Light says in the chat that Alberta and Montana merged after World War III.
Oh, that could be. That would make sense.
It could be.
Although I do think
right, actually,
specifically-
100%. That totally could be.
I think
That
specifically
tracks.
though that the Phoenix launch site was near Bozeman, so it's in the part that's currently Montana. But also, Prixie Nesting Doll Biome says that they had problems getting a replacement priest when the previous one retired. Yeah, I bet. My guess is that most Albanian priests aren't just up to move out to the Midwest of the United States at the drop of a hat. Yeah, my guess is that when you're going to like a seminary in Albania, your expectation is not that you're going to end up in the USA. Yeah.
Mhm.
And like, I suppose a bishop could just say you're going, but like that's a good way to get a priest
Yeah.
to just quit. Because the thing is, yeah, sure, you're supposed to obey the bishop, but if you just quit, what are they going to do? They don't have any legal authority in most places, at least. They can't like force
mean,
you.
The United Methodists, they rotate their pastors every few years. Like, that's not even an option. It's just like, oh yeah, you serve here for like 3 or something, 10 years. I don't even know what it is anymore. And it's like, all right, time's up, move to another church. And they just shuffle them all around.
I don't know how I feel about
yeah.
that. I feel like there's some value
mean-
in getting to know and become part of a community that you're supposed to be like a spiritual
yeah,
head for.
I do too. And I asked the Methodists that I knew at the time, I was like, well, what's the point of that? And I think that their explanation at the time was something like, we don't want them to become like the figurehead of this community and abuse their authority, so we move them around so it won't go like culty. And I was
Yes.
like, okay, that makes sense, but then also you just have to start over all the time.
Yeah.
Like, what if you get a bad pastor? You don't really have what's the recourse there?
Methodists have bishops, and I was under the impression that part of the job of a bishop was to monitor the priests so that they don't start cults of personality and then step in when they do.
I don't know. This was a very long time ago, and sometimes people aren't super informed about the ins and outs of their own denominational
too.
structure, so I don't take that as authoritative. So
That's fair. But yeah, that was always part of my understanding of what a bishop's job is. It's like, hey, when the priest starts to become too much of their own object of worship or devotion, time to step in and be like, all right, what's going on?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I've never been a priest. I've never been a bishop. I've talked to a few of them. I've talked to a Catholic bishop, a few Catholic bishops. I've talked to at least one Episcopal bishop, and I've met an Eastern Orthodox bishop. I don't think I actually had a conversation with him, if I remember correctly. So I don't know.
Okay.
Weirdly enough,
Really-
the Catholic bishop I talked to was also a cardinal, and he was a cardinal in Massachusetts who later was forcibly retired after it turns out he was implicated in a scandal involving some altar boys. So that was weird when I realized, oh wait, I've had 2 conversations with that guy.
Great.
Yeah, that was weird.
Hey, Catholic Church, you should let priests get married again. It would cut down on a lot of this significantly.
I mean, I'm gonna go with a slightly less of a change rule and say you should let married men be ordained as priests again. As far as I know, they never let
Okay,
priests
yeah,
get
that's
married.
fair.
Yeah. Which actually, that's the rule in the Eastern Catholic churches. So, like, if you're like a Maronite Catholic, the default for parish priests is that they are married before they get ordained. So
I went
it's
to
not
college
even.
with a Maronite.
Oh, nice.
There was
Yeah.
a Maronite church like right behind our campus.
Okay. And yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, there are a lot of married Catholic priests. It's not that unusual. But I've talked to a Catholic who didn't believe me when I said that Peter was married. And I'm like, here in the gospel, Jesus heals his mother-in-law. How do you think he
Right?
got one of
Hard to do
those
that.
if he
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
married?
It's truly,
Yeah.
that's true. Yes.
He's like, I don't know, but I don't think he was married. I'm like, okay, sure. I guess, I don't know. Maybe you don't know what mother-in-laws are. I don't know. I'm just going to leave it.
My goodness.
I don't need to spend my time trying to convince you that the Bible says that St. Peter had a wife, but okay. Yeah.
Goodness.
I mean, you could at least go with she had died before he became Pope. You could just do that. But saying, like, no, he was never married, like, come on, dude. Like, I
Yeah,
might say,
that's-
like, I guess I'm not convinced because I'm not super convinced of the historicity of the story. But, like, if you are, then Cassie Clearly for $10 says, I just want to say thank you. The three of you were the soundtrack during my recovery from COVID. Your stream
Aw.
archives made me feel like I was
Wow.
constantly among friends instead of isolated and alone. Well, first, thank you, and I'm glad that we could help.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry that you.
That's very nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you had to go through
Yeah.
that. That sucks. But I'm very glad
Yeah.
that we could help.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, I've had COVID exactly
That's
one
great.
time, and that's one time too many.
I'm starting to think.
Maybe I have it right now. I'm
Yes,
popping.
it was terrible. I've had it. I thought twice, but now I'm starting to think if what I went through this summer is something completely different. I didn't actually get
Hmm.
myself tested, but I'm discovering that virtually everyone in my in my world really has been suffering with something that they have, illness that has taken weeks and weeks to get over. My mom
It
is
could be
actually currently
COVID.
undergoing.
There's
She got tested and it's
also-
not, so I was
There's
like,
also walking pneumonia that's going around.
wow. Yeah,
as
maybe
a thing
that's
as
it.
well.
Maybe
And
that's
then
it.
there's the flu, obviously, but yeah,
Yeah.
I've noticed
But
an hey, increase in people talking about having
um,
like walking pneumonia. I'm like, damn, I haven't heard about
yeah,
that.
maybe
since I was,
that's
like, in high
what's
school, so-
happening. But we've been going for almost 90 minutes. I need to take an O'Reilly.
Okay. It's not an O'Reilly,
so
it's a Riley.
It's
it's
not the
a
auto parts store.
Riley.
Riley.
It's-
Yeah.
it's
There's no
what?
O.
Okay, thank you.
Riley. Yeah.
I heard O'Reilly.
I understand.
It's- Yeah, it's not the.
It's his
not the auto
first
parts
name?
store.
No, it's his last
Anthony-
name.
It's his last name,
Anthony,
which is still Riley. Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
But
But
while you work on that, I do want to respond to Satan616, who says the Eastern Orthodox allows priests to marry, sometimes multiple times. I am not aware of any Orthodox church that allows priests to marry, although I am aware of some that have allowed a priest to retire from the priesthood but maintain certain other duties like teaching in seminaries in order to remarry after the death of his wife. But I am not aware of any instances where it is where the Eastern Orthodox Church allows a non-married man who is a priest to marry while remaining a priest. I will admit I am not an expert.
Katie Lewis says that said, the abuse of women and girls by Protestant pastors shows that married clergy doesn't solve the problem. Oh, I'm definitely not making the claim that it would solve it. Not at all. I'm just saying that it would diminish some of it.
Yeah.
So,
one of the things is when you put people in positions of power, you open up the door to having those people abuse people, and people seek out those positions who want to abuse people. And the only solution to that is to just not have positions of power, but I don't think that's a realistic thing to have happen. I don't think we're going to be in a situation anytime soon where we have a radical egalitarianism where no one has any positional authority over anyone or is ever seen as someone to look up to or anything like that. That's just not going to happen. Humans naturally arrange themselves into hierarchies of different sizes and complexities, granted, but and that's not just a human thing, right? All primates have social groups that are hierarchical. Humans might be able to try to resist this urge and push it away a little bit and reduce the amount of hierarchy in their lives. But I do not actually believe that humans are ever going to be living in a situation where they just don't have a hierarchy. And the people who are at higher places in the hierarchy will have additional amounts of trust. And some of those people will violate that trust. And some people who want to violate that trust will seek out that position of power. Satan says they usually have to marry before becoming priests, but there are exceptions when the wife leaves or tragically dies. I mean, look, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I'm not aware of any such instances, but there have been a lot of Orthodox priests and bishops over the years. So I'm certainly not going to say that that hasn't happened. But as far as I'm aware, the official rules are supposed to be no. But then again, as Kip had said earlier, dispensation, or maybe it was Vish. I am actually not positive. Dispensations are a thing, and it does not mean
That is
dispensationalism.
thing.
Actually, I know that like there's actually a dispensation in the Eastern Orthodox Church for Americans for Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving falls during a fasting period.
Oh,
And so
Alright.
normally Eastern Orthodox Christians wouldn't eat meat on Thanksgiving, but American Eastern Orthodox Christians, at least in most of the jurisdictions I'm aware of, I've known people in, have had a dispensation that says, yeah, no, eat turkey, because the whole idea of a Thanksgiving is something where, like, you know, the various American jurisdictions were like, yes, we think it is a good idea to have a day set aside for Thanksgiving, and if the tradition here is that you eat turkey on that day, then you should eat turkey on that day, even though it's during the Nativity Fast, and even though you probably are going to have to eat turkey the next day on a Friday, where it would be extra against the fasting rules. Whatever. Just have some turkey.
Hey, speaking of Thanksgiving, did you guys know that next weekend is the celebration of actual Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Which is
Canadian
which
Thanksgiving?
occurs, but yes, before the Americans decided to co-opt the holiday and turn it into a celebration of
you know what's
genocide,
funny?
it was
America.
you know, yeah, America. So
Did you know
but
that Canadian Thanksgiving very often overlaps with Sukkot?
I did not know that.
yeah, wow.
I'm going to
I
take
guess it
5
would-
drinks while you
Almost like
talk
they
about that.
share common themes.
Because Pegajace's Perusian
Yeah,
license
that's
plate
true.
has just
That's
I just noticed
Gifted
that.
you
Perusian
5
license
memberships.
plate is amazing.
Really
Oh
is.
my god, I'm
It
just
is.
That is
oh
incredible.
wow. I love
Wow.
that.
So very nice. So,
Oh,
anyways,
here's 5 drinks.
Good.
Next weekend is
Wait.
Canadian Thanksgiving. What?
Perusian license plate? That is officially the first inside joke that comes from my channel.
Yeah, it is. Wait, no.
it-
Lieutenant
no.
Matt,
It
the
is.
license plate magician,
Oh,
is first.
damn.
Pegajace is second, though. But the
Okay.
license plate joke is the first inside joke that's come from your channel.
Yeah, so that is the first inside joke
awesome.
from my channel. That is really cool.
Yeah,
That
but
really
yeah,
is.
Lieutenant Matt beat Pegajace.
Yeah, both of them.
a little bit.
Yeah, kicking ass. That's awesome.
Which, in case you don't know what we're talking about, go to Vishanti's channel and watch.
Yeah,
I think there's only 2 live streams on there. Go watch them.
It's
They're
true.
great.
Yes.
The other ones are mirrors, but yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you click on the live streams tab, I think only 2 videos come up.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But
But
click live and watch them.
Brace for
So that-
stupid.
it's
Seriously.
very stupid.
And a
Next
little bit of
weekend is
evil.
Canadian Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
But I and my family are celebrating today, because it's easier to get everyone together today
Makes sense.
than next weekend. So we're having Thanksgiving today.
I
which
was
is fun.
gonna stupidly ask, did the Canadian Eastern Orthodox get a dispensation? But it's not a fasting period, so they
It's-
wouldn't need one. So
no,
who cares?
They wouldn't exactly right.
Yeah.
So
It's just a normal
y'all
day.
Do y'all eat
Just-
turkey and gorge yourselves generally? Okay.
hell yeah,
There you go.
of course.
Why
of
would you
course.
not?
I mean, remember we invented it, and you guys co-opted it to celebrate genocide.
Also,
So-
turkey is basically the most American, like, commonly eaten bird because it is
Mm.
native to North America.
I'm probably gonna end up eating a turkey sandwich for lunch.
Nice.
Mm.
Actually, it's
I love turkey
weird.
sandwiches.
So turkey fowl are actually named after the country, despite not being native to Turkey. But the Turks were some of the first people to, like, at a commercial scale, farm turkeys, which they imported from from Europeans who were bringing over eggs, because the Europeans didn't really bother. So then the bird became associated with the country because that's where most Europeans were familiar with the bird from. And
What the heck?
That's kind of amazing. That
Yeah.
really is. Wow.
So thanks,
Fucking
Turks, for
United
introducing
States.
turkeys.
Like I was up for the longest time. I was like, "There's no, it's not. It has nothing to do. There's no connection. Here.
There
This
is.
This is just a. That's
It's named. They
I
were
know
originally called turkey
that's
fowl
the-
because they were from Turkey.
holy cow.
You know
and
what's
that
funny
is the-
though? Cognitive trifurcation just reminded me that Ben Franklin wanted America's national bird to be the turkey.
Mm-hmm.
it's an impressive bird. Let's get
My
real.
favorite dinosaur.
Is it?
Yeah,
Mhm.
really? Wow. You
Okay.
have a favorite dinosaur?
Yeah, it's the turkey. Meleagris gallopavo.
It's weird. Like I don't know. I never. Is that like saying it's my? I don't know. I'm just trying to
Wait,
put
that's its
myself into
actual
your
scientific
shoes.
name?
Yeah,
Pavo?
Melia-
What's its scientific name? What's its
Meleagris
scientific name?
gallopavo. Meleagris is the
Dance.
genus,
Because
gallopavo.
pavo is the Spanish word for turkey. So
Salmo pavo.
And gallo is
That's
from gallus,
Wow.
which is the Latin word
Yeah.
for. Joshua Geese just gifted 5 Dapper Dinosaur memberships, and I did take the drinks for that. Thank you very much, Joshua Geese. And Joshua Geese for $5 also says, I still wonder if anything would be different if Ben Franklin got his way and had the turkey be the national bird. Maybe. Personally, I think there were already enough countries that had eagles as their symbol.
Mhm.
Because, like, it's like everybody.
But also, I think it's appropriate that the United States picked the bald eagle because it looks super intimidating, but when you listen to it, it sounds like and it's
Yep.
a chirp.
Yeah,
It's
and,
so
and it eats trash.
just
It's very Canadian.
unremarkable.
Very
Yeah,
Canadian.
like-
The Canadian bald eagle looks intimidating. Doesn't
lots of
at
war
all
crimes.
sound intimidating, and eats trash. So
Yeah. Like anytime you think you hear a bald eagle, that's not
That's
actually a
not-
bald eagle.
that's not it.
Yeah, that's a
hawk.
red-tailed hawk.
It's a
specifically.
red-tailed hawk.
Yes.
Yeah.
That, yeah, it's kind of embarrassing the degree to which lots of people have been convinced that the red-tailed hawk sounds are eagle sounds. They're not. They're not. Oh well. Yeah, bald eagles they can be kind of a pain actually, and like they're protected in the United States, and there are places in Alaska where they're basically a pest, but no one can do anything about it because they're
Because
protected.
it's a national bird. Yeah.
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 Olivia Williams for 2 beaver bucks says, "Remind me, we ate passenger pigeons to extinction." Yeah, that's a thing.
Hmm.
Yep, there used to be passenger pigeon flocks allegedly dense enough to block out the sun. I think that might have been a little bit of a hyperbole, but yeah, they used to be so common that you could just shoot into the air, and chances are, if you used some like birdshot, you'd get a few.
Damn.
Hmm.
Yep.
Alex Markel says bald eagles are just oversized seagulls.
That is true.
Yeah,
And if you have the opportunity to actually watch bald eagles, they're always surrounded by seagulls, and they all kind of behave exactly the same. I mean, this is just based on I'm sure there's scientists who can do this better than my anecdotal observations, but we have a ton of bald eagles
so
here.
when in my
And-
hometown, bald eagles were only just when I was coming up. Bald eagles were only recently re-entering the area, and they were also only recently starting to hunt on the river that went through my hometown because the river was only recently clean enough that fish could live there. So that's nice.
Yeah. Right.
But then one winter, someone spent a very long time trying to rescue a dog from an ice floe on the river. And then it flew away because that dog was a bald eagle and he was not used to seeing bald eagles, and it made the newspapers because
Wow.
there was like
Ugh.
police presence, and people want to rescue the dog. I get it. But no, that dog flew away, and it was a bald eagle.
Not pet that dog.
Yeah, I believe it was a young
You know-
one, which explains why the bald head didn't give it away. Because
Yeah,
in
it
case you
was
don't know,
still
young bald
brown.
eagles have brown
Brown feathers,
heads,
yeah.
not the white head.
Yeah.
And the bald, by the way, is short for piebald, which means white and brown coloration, and so that's why bald eagles are called that. Not because they don't have any
Okay.
hair.
Wow.
That would
Vagary,
be vultures.
You know,
yeah. Speaking of vultures, Vagary has also watched turkey vultures run a bald eagle off before. Well, turkey vultures are big, and if there's more than one of
They
them,
are
yeah, they would
also
absolutely run off a
made of
bald eagle.
spite.
Yeah, I have zero trouble believing that was a thing you witnessed. That seems
Turkey vultures
entirely
are-
plausible.
Completely
you know-
composed of spite.
Do you know my tiny dog has I have 3 dogs. There's Dagon, the abomination of the Philistines. He's the big dog. He's also the youngest. And then Skaha is the old dog, the very sweet old dog. And Layla is the tiny dog. She's just like a little miniature fox terrier. Probably got some Chihuahua in her too. But she actually has a special vest that she wears with gigantic spikes on it that are like that big.
To keep the, yeah.
So she doesn't get
Birds.
snatched by. She looks fucking metal as hell.
That's awesome.
And
There's our
it
one.
is. It absolutely is. Well, I mean, we're We're,
No, I get
we're
it.
like
Well, I mean, I've said
100
I
minutes
said
in.
fuck
So,
earlier in the streaming.
oh my god! How does he always miss
Shanti,
you?
Just.
Ah. So,
I like her more.
but I know you do. I know. Yeah. It's because you guys share a brain.
Largely, yeah.
And
Yeah. Double-sized
so
brain because we're both smart.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Mhm.
you're kind of smart, I suppose, both of you.
Sorry, can you
Kinda.
speak Klingon? Can you
No.
read
But
colonial
why-
era Spanish?
I cannot.
Okay, well, there you go.
But you know, I
And
do other smart things.
Like wear toques?
Yes.
Okay.
And do
Okay.
you know what a natural hat trick is?
Sounds like a
Listen to
hockey
the
thing.
silence.
That sounds like a hockey thing.
It is.
Okay, yeah.
So-
See, so I know that it's a hockey thing, which means it's unimportant.
Oh, it's much more important than Klingon.
I disagree.
I am, well, you would.
Because now I get to have the weird experience of sometimes watching Star Trek and being very confused because the word order in Klingon is very different than English. And I'm often reading subtitles while getting the opposite end of the sentence in spoken Klingon, and my brain just can't do it. So sometimes I have to look away from the subtitles in order for my brain to not, like, short circuit and explode. It's
Wow.
It's weird.
Wow.
It's a thing that happens.
Yeah.
That does feel sad and painful.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Dutch, the place of sorry,
Go for it.
Dutch, the place of hostilities Tunicate, who's been a member for 17 months, says spooky movie recommendations. I want to pee my pants.
So something really like super intense, scary.
I would assume so, unless he's going for like just really really funny horror comedy.
Okay, well, clarify, Dutch Tunicate in the chat. Which of those?
What if we just give
you're
recommendations for
wanting to do?
both?
I would prefer to give them the one that they thought of.
Okay.
We're deciding between what and what? For
Horror comedy
recommendations?
and just abject terror.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Raina Vast says your brain on OSV be like Dapper Dinosaur. Yeah, no, it's true. That is the big problem,
Okay.
right? Actually, Klingon is OVS, which is even weirder.
Oh,
Is
scary. Oh, they want scary.
scary.
Okay. The movie that I watched exactly one time, and that will be the only time I ever watch it ever, because it was so stressful. Like, I don't know if it's not jump scary, but it's just horrible in terms of the scenario that's happening is Buried with Ryan Reynolds.
Hmm.
I cannot rewatch that movie. When I think about it, it raises my blood pressure.
It seems fair.
It does not have a
I
happy
haven't seen
ending.
it. Have you seen it, Dapper?
I don't think I actually have, but I'm aware of it. I can see why.
If y'all watch it, it's gonna have to be without me because I'm not going through that shit
Yeah,
That's
again.
fair.
again.
That's fair.
Mm.
DM Nims for Now Wing says, "How does it feel when the Klingon is just gibberish?" That's just vaguely annoying. Yeah, it's just annoying. I will say I do appreciate that the written Klingon in Lower Decks actually made sense, and at least in one case was actually kind of cute. Like I like that.
Aw.
But then in Prodigy, the only Klingon text I could remember was on a Klingon cloaking device. And it just is what happens if you type cloaking device and change the font to the Klingon font. It didn't say cloaking device. Which is... And like, okay, look. Let's say I don't know a word of Klingon. Here's what it takes to figure out what the Klingon word for cloaking device is. I open up this app, which is just the same as opening up the Klingon dictionary, because you can just grab it there. And then I say CLO... let's see, cloaking device. There it is. I type CLOA and it's the fourth thing down. Cloaking device. All you got to do, guys. And then you
Okay.
just type that in, and then you change the font. Do that next time, guys. Which is really annoying because I actually do know the person who served as the Klingon dialect coach for the few lines of Klingon on the show. And she did a really great job of getting the actress to pronounce the Klingon very well, and the Klingon was in fact good Klingon, which I would expect because she knows enough Klingon to make sure it was. And then when it comes to the written Klingon, they're just like, meh, we'll just type in cloaking device and slap it
Probably
on there.
some, like, but that was because there was probably someone else
Oh yeah, I know that. It's just like,
on that side.
it's
of it,
annoying
right?
that they went to the trouble
Yeah.
with one part of the production.
Yeah.
And then the another part of the production was like, who cares?
See, but that was probably also an accident because the producers, the show producers, or whoever makes these sort of decisions just was like, I need someone to do this and I need someone to do that.
Yeah.
And didn't realize that one was good at doing their thing and one was less good.
Yeah, no,
So-
look, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not like angry about it. It's just a little annoying. Especially since otherwise I think Prodigy was pretty good. And it also gave something for Chakotay to do.
Yeah. Jeez.
Wasn't weirdly racist for no reason.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was there was that. Although it also did make the mistake of thinking that feathers have bones in them, like a Halloween decoration. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was a little weird. At one point, you come across the skull of a bird person, and giving it a beak isn't enough. They had to put bone feathers in there, and I was like, "What is?" Okay, thanks, guys. So I guess now it's just canon that Aurelians, one of the bird species in Star Trek, have bone cores to some of their feathers that just firmly attach into the skull. Because that makes sense. I guess it's not as bad as saying, oh, this is a Zindi avian. Behold, the giraffe skull. That was
I
worse.
will never get over that.
Yeah, thanks, Star Trek Enterprise. That was it was a little dumb, and every time I see that scene, it is very hard for me to not have any sense of immersion, or like just
Listen, this is what happens. I
suspension
mean,
of
season
disbelief.
3 was
Yeah.
overall pretty cursed, but it's because it came out right after 9/11, so they...
I don't think that's a good reason to use a giraffe skull.
I mean, I didn't say it was a good reason.
Okay.
I just said that, like, season 3, the whole, like, arc of the season was a response to 9/11.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that is, yeah, that's true.
Again, Star Trek has never been subtle. It's never been good at subtlety.
No.
It's about as subtle as a sledgehammer to the face.
Nor has it ever been
So-
apolitical. And I will say one of my favorite genres of thing is right-winger finds out that entertainment franchise is political and also hates them specifically.
Yes.
My favorite is when conservatives somehow in this day and age discover that Rage Against the Machine are leftists.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it
right?
turns out the machine
Yes.
wasn't just the
Wow.
vending machine that hung
Yeah,
up your Coke
no.
can and wouldn't dispense it.
Literally, the guy, Tom Morello, the guy who has an actual poli-sci degree and who has Arm the Homeless written on his guitar and has the whole like time, they're not conservative at all. They're leftists.
Yeah. Or
Ugh.
although I've also seen some people on the left get the politics of Star Trek weirdly wrong. I remember there was one article that went through 3 different revisions, because first it said, hey, Star Trek Discovery is going to have the first black captain. And then everyone was like,
What?
Deep Space Nine is a show that exists.
Yeah, literally all of Deep Space Nine, thanks.
And they were like, okay, Star Trek Discovery is going to have the first female captain. And then everyone was like, I'm sorry, Voyager is also a
Voyager.
show that
Yeah.
exists. And then finally they were like, the first black female captain. And it was like, okay, now that you've gone through a third
Okay.
revision, you finally got it. Good job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Just erase Cisco, who, by the way, I think is one of the best captains on Star Trek.
I agree.
Didn't he punch Q in the face?
He did, although when he did that, he wasn't the captain. He was just a lieutenant, or he was a commander.
Okay.
But he
Still,
was
he
the
probably did.
CO of the command, so like he was also a captain in terms of position. So like, you know, but yeah, although to be fair, I think that Captain Sisko got better when he got the goatee and shaved his head. Because season 1 Commander Sisko, it's fine, but you know, I'd follow goatee and shaved head Captain Sisko into battle. Absolutely.
Prixie Purple is saying like that conservatives are weirdly bad at media literacy,
It's true.
and it honestly it's entertaining because one of my favorite Reddit posts of all time, or it may have been Tumblr, but this person is talking about how the original Star Wars was a metaphor for Vietnam, and the comment that got immortalized was, yeah, but then that would make the Empire America, and that's the bad guys.
You don't say.
You don't say. That couldn't possibly be the case.
Jeez. Like, look, I'm not going to say that the Viet Cong were the good guys. I'm one of those people who thinks that there probably wasn't really a good side in that war, like many wars, maybe most wars. But yeah. If you're surprised that a piece of media might be depicting their stand-ins for the United States as the bad guys, you just don't know any history. Or at least you might know, like, the, like, whitewashed version of history that you've been taught in, like, Alabama or something.
You're like, yeah, it's like, oh, this war happened and it wasn't popular, and then you grow up and you find out, oh, it was just another proxy war between the Soviet Union and the United States. Great, great, cool. Yeah.
So, but y'all should, by the way, watch the Turning Point documentary on Netflix about the Vietnam War. It's very good.
Do I have to?
I gotta say, that doesn't
someday.
sound...
That doesn't sound like something I want to voluntarily give my time to.
But also, speaking of movies,
Very good.
we are now coming up to, like, wrap-up time, and I want to say that the movie that we're watching over on the Discord is Destroy All Monsters, which is directed by Ishiro Honda, the man who directed the original Godzilla. So he's coming back to the franchise for this one. It is actually chronologically, in terms of the internal chronology, the last of the Showa-era movies. But they then went back and made, like, 2 prequels and a sequel. So, like, it's not the last of the Showa movies that we're going to watch. But, yeah, it's set in, like, the distant future of, like, 1999 or something. So that's fun. I always love it when a movie is set in the distant future of a year that has already passed. It's always fun.
That is fun.
Yeah. Especially
and
since...
I'm always like, man, we're way more optimistic than
reality.
than reality.
Also, where's Jaws 19? Let's go.
Right.
We're slacking on the Jaws movie production.
A little bit, yeah.
And also, hoverboards when, guys?
Yeah.
Seriously.
I mean,
seriously.
Even Power Rangers has hoverboards.
People have made hoverboards, but they're
They
like
suck, though.
absurd.
But they're not
yeah,
actually hover. They don't hover.
Well,
if it's connected to the ground, it's not a hoverboard.
No, they've made some that aren't connected physically to the
made
ground.
Some. But they're absurdly.
They're dumb.
They are.
They're just magnetic suspension boards that have to go over a magnetic surface. Otherwise, they don't work.
That's not fair.
I saw one that was made with rotary fans, actually.
So, well, that sounds loud and dangerous and lame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said, just...
It's one of those things like, why don't we have flying cars? Like, you wouldn't want flying cars. Trust me. Real life flying cars will not be like the flying cars of the movies.
We have, I mean, especially in today's day and age when, you know, air traffic control is something that
if people are such bad drivers when they're connected to the ground, do
Right?
you really want them in the air?
Yeah.
And like, here's the thing. I've lived in several states. I have traveled to many more states. And one thing I've noticed is that every place that I've been claims to have the worst drivers. And what that has led me to conclude is that Americans are just bad drivers.
Okay, but there's also a statistical answer to this question, which is accidents per driver per mile. And the answer to the question of which state has the worst drivers per driver per mile isn't actually a state. It's the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Wait, is that the way you guys do it?
I knew it was going to be Massachusetts.
It's the state.
I knew it was.
Yeah, it is.
Is it? It's the state that you're from that has the worst drivers. Is that how you do it?
Well, no, I'm
We
saying
don't do it that way.
statistically.
Statistically.
No. But
Actual
what
answer.
we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think it's
I was
usually
so
just the
stuck
state
on
that
that.
you're in.
Yeah,
Or
most
that
people
you live in.
Really?
say the city that they live in has the worst drivers. Like
Yeah.
anytime
see-
I'm in Atlanta, people are like, "Oh no, Atlanta has the worst drivers. They're all like, they drive like
I mean,
90 miles an hour." And
Yeah, we do that. I mean, I guess we do that too, but it's always we have the worst drivers, and they're all from, like here we have all the worst drivers, and they're all from Alberta. But when
Oh, no, we
when I'm
usually
in
assume we're
Calgary, we
locals.
have all the worst drivers, and they're all from BC.
Yeah, no,
So-
we just assume that they're locals.
Oh, right. See, yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
Wow,
But yeah,
The vast cultural
I've
differences.
concluded that
vast.
when people take their driving tests as a teenager, they just never actually develop proper driving skills. People just act like they're the main character of the road. So
I mean, they're the main
If
character of
I-
their own lives, so obviously.
obviously, yeah. Well, if I had any say in it, driving tests would be something you have to periodically retake.
That would
So-
certainly help solve the problem of people who are too old to safely drive. Which is a real problem. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Kip, I need you to prepare. Tell people what's going on, because I'm going to give you an entire minute. But then after that minute is up, I'm going to mute you if you're not already done. I'm going to give my
Okay.
bit there. Roshan, a pre-Yiddish volcano Keller for $9.99 says Marty drove in the race and hit the vehicle. He later enlisted, went to Okinawa, covered for his superior sexual abuse, and started a war. That's the 2015 depicted. Yeah,
What?
Back to the Future.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
All right.
Olivia Williams for $2 says
go to
Quebec
Okinawa?
claim their drivers charge pedestrians. Are they actually? I hope that's not actually true. I don't remember being charged last time I was in Quebec, and I definitely wasn't driving. But then again, it's been a while, and maybe I just don't remember very well. All right, Kip, are you ready?
I think so.
Go.
Okay. And I don't have a lot. So a budget scripture Saturday tonight. Nitty is predisposed, so he will not be joining us. The Weasels never get back to me on time, so I have no idea if they're gonna be there. There's an open invitation for Vish. You too, Dapper, if you want to join us tonight, feel
You
free.
may message me.
So yeah, I will. And then this week we have Kitty at Brit on Thursday evening. I'm still lining up a co-host.
Cool.
I might reach out to oh my mind just drew a blank, so never mind. And then and then there will be another stream on Friday. So I think that's it. And if you haven't watched it already, go watch Paul's latest video that I did with him. It was super fun on his channel.
Wow, 56 seconds, pretty good.
I'm getting better
Nice.
at this.
Yeah. Gordon Loves Science for $9.99 says, have you ever driven in China? I have not. I've never actually even been to real China. The closest I ever came to being in real China was being in Hong Kong, not that long after the changeover of the governments. So like, yeah, even then, I mean, calling Hong Kong China is a little weird because it definitely was not much like mainland China. It was its own special autonomous zone. And at least at that time, it was much more true than it is even now. So yeah, no, I've never actually driven in China. And even in Hong Kong, could walk pretty much anywhere unless you needed to take a ferry. Because Hong Kong, not that big in terms of like surface area. But it is a place where I was walking around where there were street vendors, and I turned a corner, and suddenly the street vendors were just selling sex toys. And it was a very jarring thing. But
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Vish, what do you got for us? You got another minute.
I did 2 impromptu live streams reviewing the Rapture guy,
Mhm.
and
Go watch
if he
those.
continues to update his channel with stuff, I might continue to just spontaneously react to them whenever I feel like it. And I woke up yesterday. I've been not sleeping super well, so I just scroll the internet and I came across a post that really pissed me off. So I may end up doing like an impromptu debunking series, but we'll see how that goes. And
We'll see if I get a
I'll
DM
let
about
you
it.
guys. Yeah, we'll let you know if anything else comes up. But I do still have things that are properly planned. I'm just not really great at video editing. So yeah. So I was like, you know what, just hit the live button. Let's go.
All right. Well, what's coming up over here is so on Tuesday. Okay, so right now the plan is Kent with Bent. However, there has been some unfortunate family news on from Ben's family, which means that if things go poorly, we may preempt Kent with Bent and have Tisdale Tuesday with Chesh instead. I am going to let him disclose as much or as little of that as he feels comfortable with, other than saying, yes, it is possible that as a result of some bad family news that Benton might not be here. Right now it's looking like he will be, so that's good. But yeah, just keep that in mind that there is a possibility we'll have to switch around this Tuesday stream schedule. Then on Thursday, I am releasing the 4th and final episode of the Mr. Biddle's Opus series. This one is Biddle Lies About Dinosaurs, which means he lies more about dinosaurs, because he already lied about dinosaurs a whole bunch. That will be Thursday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Then on Friday, over on Top Hats Off, we are going to be doing Season 2, Episode 2 of Star Trek Endurance Tug of War, which will be introducing a brand new main character played by Kip Davis. Kip will be playing the new character, Lieutenant Vrelax. So...
Baron Lieutenant Vrelax.
It's Viscount, not Baron.
Oh.
You're not even a count. You're a Viscount. Which, by the way, is not a title recognized in the Federation anyway. In case you're wondering.
I don't care. We don't care.
Okay.
So
same.
We're fine.
Lil of all trades for $2 says treats for Dagon.
Thank you, Lil. He's not in the room at the moment.
Later.
But I'll be sure to get some.
And then Saturday, the plan is for this crew to be back. And also, my plan is to do more potential giveaways of Steam keys on Tuesday and Saturday. I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more keys to give away.
Feels like that's a hard thing for you to say. You keep
It
calling
is.
them stream keys.
I do keep calling them stream keys. I think part of it might be that I'm live streaming, and that's in my brain.
It might be.
I'm going to give away a Steam key on the stream, and it's my brain's getting all wired wrong. I don't know. I can't talk. Anyway, if you have access to the Discord, please come hang out. We're going to be watching Destroy All Monsters. It's a Godzilla film. It's got Godzilla. It's got Manda. It's got Anguirus. It's got Manila. It's got Rodan. It's got Mothra. It's got King Ghidorah. It's got all your favorites, and probably some that aren't your favorites. So, yeah, come check that out. And other than that, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I really appreciate it. Please feel free to check out the Patreon and the channel memberships if you want to support the channel. And furthermore, ICE must be abolished. Bye, everybody. Hey, before you leave, I just want to take a second to thank my patrons and channel members, especially those pledging $20 or above. Ben Tovand, Tapioca Weasel, Max Cherry, North Texas Fossils, John Ackerman, Sphincter of Doom, Regios, Landon, Ian Chen, Eleron Teller, Phil Gavara, Kelvin Brostic Van Manen, Joshua Geese, Volis, Dan Sheedy, The Plastic Mouse, Arrow Dodger, and Gordon Love Science. It's because of my channel members and patrons whom you're seeing on screen that this channel can stay afloat. Without you, it would all shut down. If you want to join the team, there's a link to join the channel below this video, and there's a link to join the Patreon in the description. On the Patreon, you can get a 15% discount for pledging annually, and either way, you get early access to virtually all of my scripted videos months before they come out for the general public. Thanks for watching.